Hi, my name is Steven, and I make fonts as Arrow type. Thanks for joining. I'm going to do a work session this evening where I'm going to try to get to a few things, and then I might break it up into a couple of videos. But thing number one is getting name mono thin to more accurately match name sans text thin, which is a goal, but I'll kind of get into why it doesn't quite match. And I guess I can, nope, that's not still pulled up. Basically, name monothin is just a little thinner because it was created before I totally finished name sans version 1. So there's a mismatch that I want to correct. And then the major next thing I want to do is start out in the thin master layer of name mono italic. Right now, that is really not fixed at all really yet. It's just kind of the early rough copy and paste of name sans text italic. So there's a lot of updates to be made there. But yeah, these things will both be kind of fun, and hopefully it's interesting if you're interested in that sort of thing. One correction I should make, or one update maybe, is in a previous session, I was struggling a little bit with adding glyphs and overwriting things that are already there. So let's do a really basic example. Okay, here we go. A acute. The A acute is formed as a composed glyph. I'm glad I looked at this. And okay, so I just popped some centered guidelines, and I see that my A could possibly be centered a little more. Well, I don't know. This should be a little thicker. So is it centered right now? Maybe I can find out this way, which is hilarious. Okay. Pretty good. Okay. These are not centered quite, and I feel like they should be. So let me center these. Okay. Can't be exactly centered, but it's fine. Right. So now that we have our A centered, this is also composed of the acute, right? And these attach at these two anchor points. So this attaches there. And when we create a glyph, it's just Command-Shift-G, and then we can say A acute. And so long as we get the name right as far as Glyphs expects, it will form the glyph. And this is something I encounter a lot. It says, oh, this glyph already exists. Are you sure you want to replace it? Or do you want to keep the existing and not do, like, make a named one with a unique name? Usually this overwrites it, but it lately has not been. It's been just choosing the do not replace option. And sure enough, this is just something that's been updated already, but it's only in the cutting edge beta versions of the app. So I'm going to use this and then say check now. And yeah, here's the change log. And in here, one of these changes fixes that. Here we go, fix replace when adding new glyphs. So I do want to install this update, and then that will hopefully solve this problem for me. And yeah, basically, if you're having something that seems like a bug, it probably is. The developers may already know about it. I figured it would be fixed soon enough, so that's why I didn't file the issue in the forum, but I try to file issues in the Glyphs forum when I encounter them. Yeah, I guess I better save these. Save, please. Save. Cool. And probably have to restart this. Here we go. And let's just try this again. So I'm going to command delete this, remove this glyph, and then a acute replace, and boom, it's replaced it. Which I guess is kind of a bad example because you can't see that it's replaced, but it's replaced. And the one I deleted is no longer here, which is great news. So yeah, these .001 glyphs were causing some issues for me, and I had to like go through and delete them, and it was slightly painful, but glad that that issue has been resolved in the app's latest updates. Okay, so then the next thing I was going to do is just start to look at the thickness of the N versus name sans text thin. And basically, I just like literally opened the OTF in here, typed the N, copied this, and Command B to get it in the background. And yeah, so you can see that name mono is a little bit narrower, which kind of makes sense. I've had to adjust it to fit a monospace space. This name sans is 64. I mean, I guess I could have just measured this over here too. 64 units. That's out of 2048. And then let's go to the foreground. This is 60 units. So let's go to our font info and check out our measurement scale. Okay, so this is pretty good actually. I'm measuring the weight in the font source itself. I'm measuring the weight based on the stem. So for instance, this should be 180 and this should be about 347. Let's test that theory. 180, 347, exactly. Very cool. And this is currently 60. So this is great, actually. We can update this pretty easily. I'm going to say 64 here. And I'm going to stop this for a second. And basically, by stop this for a second, I mean I'm going to click active and uncheck it for almost all of these instances. And then here, this instance is still active. So then I can say generate instances. You know what? I'm realizing I could do this one simpler. Okay, so thin I've set to 64, and I'm just going to see if I can... all right, I will add it as a master, and I do that with here, instance as master. It's a slightly non-intuitive placement for it, I would say, but here we are. That's 64 now, and that's just 60. So that may have basically, yeah. So it's almost exactly perfect. It probably did raise the X height by like 1 unit, 2 units, which is not perfect, but that's pretty quick to fix. And yeah, I'll go through and do that. But this is now much better. And I guess I'm just going to delete this old one and remove. And then let me see. Let me set the X height to be, oh, I should have copied from the other one. Oh, well, I'll just get it from here. The X height I wanted to be 1021. This is 1022. So 1 unit off, pretty close. To be honest, you could just not even worry too much about this, I would say, but I do worry about this sort of thing. So here we are. Let's fix it. It won't take too long. I should really have like a lowercase category. I bet I could do that. Lowercase drawn. I guess I already did. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to pop all of these open and adjust the ones that should sit exactly on the X height. Some of these overshoot things, it's kind of slightly approximate, so I'm not going to worry about all of those since we're literally like 1 unit off. But for things that are exactly sitting on the X height or should be exactly sitting on the X height, I am going to worry about it because otherwise it would bother me. Oh, and I better move that too. These anchors. Oh no. Wait. Okay. Yep, I better be moving the anchors. Oh. To be honest, I don't think this necessarily needs an anchor. Let's see. Okay. If I do reset anchors, Command Shift U. Okay. I guess maybe it is helpful for that one to have an anchor. And literally just clicking on these, I guess these should have anchors. Kind of makes sense. If I, oh, it's hard to know, should this be, just show the current instance, please. Yeah, maybe the E looks a little bigger. Let's budget over, get these centered. Well, it's one of those things where maybe nothing feels quite right, but I mean, maybe it's obvious because this glyph has to be super compressed to fit into a single unit of space. All right, but I think I like that better. Let's do the OE as well while we're at it. And I'm just using a script that places some centered guidelines. It's in my scripts repo if that seems interesting to you. There's probably other ways to do it. Just recently I realized that I have a script that like places the foreground layer into the background. Glyphs totally has like just I mean, it's not a hard script. It's nothing super special, but Glyphs has like a literal feature that does exactly that, which is so funny. I keep learning new things about this software like many years after starting to use it. And I should show that feature. Selection to background. So my script, I just take the current glyph and send it to the background. You can also, if we clear that background, use this Command J thing, selection to background, and send a specific selection to the background, which that could be really helpful. And I think perhaps, well, mine replaces the background. Oh, this one replaces it unless, I think it's Alt-Option-J, and then it adds it. So, pretty nice. Turns out they thought of that very handy feature already, which is often the case. All right. I just kind of set the anchors for all layers here. Okay. Oh, that one should be all the way down there, please. I don't know if this one actually needs top and bottom anchors, but we'll pop them on. There's also apparently disagreement where the top anchor should go on an ascender glyph. Some people place it over the H kind of in the middle. Some people place it over the stem. I read some arguments that over the middle is actually maybe more accurate, but I don't know if I can accept that. I'm not sure. Which is a pretty bad reason not to do something if it's more accurate. But It's something I should look into slightly further before having a firm opinion about. Okay, oh, this needs to go there. Cool, cool, cool. And these are all drawn glyphs, which is to say they have at least some drawn element in them, but that's not always the whole glyph. Okay. Okay, this actually could use a little bit of a... Oh. Let's just give it another spot for a second. I just want that to feel like it has an appropriate balance of thickness everywhere. Okay. Yeah, it's... trying to come up with curves that feel geometrically right is way harder than you'd think. Seems like it should be the most obvious thing in the world, but it's maybe the least obvious thing in the world. Probably not. But it's one of the great silly mysteries of my life. I guess if maybe I should proclaim that I alone have the correct eye for this. I probably have thought about it more than the average person. But I'm still thinking about it and adjusting my eyes so it doesn't stop. And this isn't just a component glyph of the normal exclamation point, because this has to be slightly different in length to properly reach the baseline. Okay, cool. That was pretty quick actually. And I believe because we only shifted these like very slightly, I think they'll already be these accents should already be the correct, although the accents probably need to change as well, which is funny, which maybe means I could have just left them there. I don't quite know. Possibly. Okay. I see these marks are shown right here. Let's go through them and just bring them up to speed, because wow, this video could be titled "Moving 1,000 points by 1 unit each." Oh. It's funny that sometimes clicking this brings it right to the X height. Oh yeah. This is like the back tick. Okay. Why are those lowercase? That is interesting. It's probably a great reason, but I don't know it offhand. Oh well. Let's view why these are giving me incompatible masters or incompatible metrics. Okay. Show all instances. I still have to give an alternate layer for the thin. Weight minimum 240, I think is how I did it. Yep. And then delete these. Okay, delete that. That's cool. Just checking that that feels nicely centered. And sometimes I feel like these don't properly order themselves. Seems like these are all ordered correctly. Do all the layers have the accurate number of seems this is crisscrossed. I forget if I can. Guess not. So weird. Oh well. I think. Okay. No. It's so weird that this doesn't work as well as I want it to. I know there's probably an elegant solution here, but I don't know it offhand. Oh well, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that did it. I just had to order these from bottom left to top right by cutting and pasting them, and I guess that got it. Okay, cool. So, let's. There must be more incompatible glyphs due to like using that new instance as master. I see. Everything with probably an alternate layer on the thin was kind of not brought along for the ride, which is kind of a news to me. But I guess that must have been what happened. I'm wondering, I could potentially go back and then copy these in. That's probably a little faster than trying to make everything again. Well, that one was just anchor points. Yeah, alternate layer, alternate layer, alternate layer, alternate layer. Some of these will be so fast to make alternate layers for, so let's start with that. So this is like that, and that is like that, I think. No, I did it exactly wrong. Haha. Okay, that is correct. Let's also recenter it. I see it, like applied the alternate layers to the instance that I was bringing in. And that's why these don't have the extra layer there. Fair enough. But pretty quick to solve for many of these. So up to 240. I want that, but above 240, I don't want the center. Okay. Same deal here. Okay. So we got that one. All right. So dealing with file copies would just take longer. All right. So these have the bar here and they don't in the alternate. So that is like that. You can see that my alternate strategy isn't entirely consistent. Like I had a slightly different approach between the, actually, this feels like slightly too thin, I guess. Let me try something. I want these to scale from about there. Cool. Seems good. And then let's make sure that goes to here as well. Oh no, what's happened? Now, what have I done? This must be so obvious. Oh, I see. This has to be last. No, it has to be second. Wait, no. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. And then this has to be last. Okay. When the ordering of the components comes into it, that is where it's Slightly confusing for whatever reason. Okay. Here we go. Yet again. Same deal. Alternate. No, I did that wrong. And cool. Let's move that one to be a little more in the center. Okay. Getting so close. All right, that one is hollow. Weight is above 240. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's already good. So close. All right. Cool. Okay, now those are all compatible, and the only one remaining is this. Oh, it's another alternate. Yep. Weight is above 160 in this one, and it's a straight one. Oh man, I kind of want to rescue this from the old guy. Whatever, I know what I'm doing. I say as I mess it up. Okay. We want these to be much more like that. And something like that. Usually you don't cross points like this, but in this case it helps achieve a shape I want, which is why I am doing it. Okay. Cool. All right. Finally, geez, that was a bit. We're in a virtual environment. I'm just going to do font make as a quick build. Oh, did it work? I think so. Yes. Okay, here we are. So we want that there, and I want the variable version, please. And now for the moment of truth. Do these seem to have So these are somewhat only valid to name sans variable. But if we go to weight, right there is a very slight discrepancy. So I should fix that so it kind of changes at the same time, the ones. The zeros are supposed to be different. If I go to exactly 100, let's type it out. Yeah, these look really similar now because they really are similar. They're like pretty much exactly 64 units for the end stem. And name sans is just slightly wider. And this has just slightly more spacing, but that's kind of as it should be for a mono. Yeah, so I like these together. Let's see, I like 300, 400 regular. Yeah, bold. They match quite nicely now. Cool. That's pretty good news. This might be slightly bolder. I don't know. Anyway, it was really apparent at thin, but I will also go and check the bold and black weights to see how those are looking. Very nice. So now I'm going to just use git in my sidebar VS Code here and just kind of like note this milestone. Move Roman thin slightly thicker to match name sans text v1. And I'm going to sync it to my repo. Okay. What now? I guess I should check if the exports all have the same weight as name sans. Let me try something. I'm going to open up the full design space here. God, there's so many design spaces here. I believe it's this. Might as well go for statics. Let's see. All right, let's open it in a VS Code instead. There's probably some sort of shoot, I didn't set these weight values up with stem widths, so I have to go and figure that out now. That's slightly irritating, but oh well. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I think at one point I felt like it was better to design them at the final values to begin with, but I've since realized that designing them with stem widths is so much better. So instead, we can go ahead and do this. Okay. We'll kind of open these all up. So this we already figured out was 64. And all right, what's the regular? 180. Here's our main guy. 180. Nailed it. Nice. Okay, so then we want light and extra light. 100/99. Okay, pretty much right on. Let's see a couple of others just to get a sense. It's literally 100 or 99. So 99 seems good to me. And then light is 139. I'm guessing that one's good then. Yeah, cool. Okay. So it was really just that thin master was just not quite bumped up to where it needed to be, but now it is. And I think life is pretty good. So we can move on to the italic. I still have some like proofing and testing to do, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and, draw some more on the italic and then proof them and test them kind of in the next phase. Okay, very nice. Okay, well, hopefully that wasn't too painful to watch. It's always a little funny figuring out those technical aspects of type design. They're some of the most important aspects of making a family really work. But, maybe not as aesthetically simply pleasing as drawing type, possibly, or if that even counts as aesthetically pleasing to watch. I don't really know. But hopefully you found some of that entertaining or informative, and I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.